Hey everyone, I'm here with Eddie McCracken, Ed Mack, in Indiana, opening a really beautiful residential assisted living, 16 beds, right? Is it 16?
Correct.
And you are right there. So where are you at now? What's the process? Where are you?
I think we're pretty much finished with the inside. They're sending in their cleaning crews right now, and we just have a lot of outside work to do, excavation. It's been raining out here every other day, so that's been pushed off. And
What
then
about, so you have a CO?
city occupancy permit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you got that.
No, we don't, not yet, but we're ready for that pretty much any day now. So, and then we don't. The fire department comes in first, does their walkthrough, and then the city.
Yeah, because I see you have your first prospective resident that would need to move in by, what is it, 1 to 2 weeks?
Oh, that's what it said? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think? 1 to 2 weeks? You're gonna,
It's doable. 2 weeks is doable. Like I said, the inside's done.
yeah. But really more so like the CO, getting the CO from the city, and then get your caregivers ready, not 24 hours a day. So yeah, I know you asked me a question before we started recording about getting a few others lined up because that first one's expensive, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, you did the projections.
Yeah. So do you think I should wait till 2, 3, or 4, or just get that first person in there? And
What's happened to the other people that had inquired or said,
they're still interested. It's just a matter of like what's going on with the COVID stuff and
yeah,
everything. So I don't know really how that's working out. I probably should reach out to them. I haven't talked to them in a couple weeks.
is Indiana open up for, I mean,
Yeah,
normal
we're opening
business?
up in phases, but how everything's shut down does not affect me though, because
Right, your essential service.
yeah,
Yeah, it made me appreciate assisted living business a little more after all this. A lot of businesses get shut down.
yeah,
So, I would definitely follow up with those people that were on the fence,
yeah,
see where they are. And then, you know, I don't, I don't know how you want to do it. I know that you have a budget, but sometimes you just got to put the place, give them a deal, get them in, you know, just say, hey, we're opening in 2 weeks. Like, let's just say you took this person. Now your wife's going to go do an assessment or go meet the person.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah. You want to check them out before you don't want to take a problem in, right?
right. And then this is the other thing. If you read that email, I think at the bottom of it it says mentioned something about he fell, so he's right now he's in a rehab facility.
Okay.
So I don't even think we would have access to that.
To get in, yeah, maybe not, but you are essential though. You're not just visiting. You're doing an
Okay.
assessment. Yeah, so you probably would just get screened. They'd probably check your temperature, your wife, and then yeah, I'm sure. Or you can do it over the phone. Maybe you talk to the social worker. I think it's a good opportunity for you to talk to the social worker there, the discharge planner. Get your
Yeah.
wife on the phone. I mean, have her call into the social worker, say, hey, Mr. So-and-so wants to move into our facility. I hear he's being
Oh,
discharged in a few weeks.
that's
And I
good.
just wanted to talk about the process with you. Like, how would we do an assessment? You know, I want to make sure that he's right for us and that we can meet that time frame for you. Does that sound, something like that? Or talk, I would first have her talk to the placement service and get permission from them. Say, how would we be able to assess the resident?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm assuming we can do that virtually because she mentioned about taking them through a tour virtually.
Well, the one thing about seeing them in person is that you get to see if they can stand up.
Yeah,
And I don't really know if you figured out like what level of care you're going to take in. In the beginning, I'm telling you, you're just going to take you're going to fill it up. You know what I mean? There's a time to be picky, but at the same time, it says one of the things I look at is the weight, and this person's 138. That's not a problem.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
right.
So, yeah, communicate with them. So That's fantastic news, though. If you can start getting placements from them, um, maybe they have more in the pipeline.
Yeah.
See, if they start doing elective surgeries again, then they're gonna go in and get their hips replaced at the hospital. They go into the rehab for rehabilitation. So right now, those rehabs are kind of holding on to everybody. There's no rush to discharge people. But even then, Medicare will only pay for people to be in those places for a certain duration of time. So when they start kicking up these elective procedures, they're going to go right into the rehabs and they're going to want to push people out. So you definitely want to get in good graces with all of those people. The question is, yeah, can you line up a few more? What do you think? 2 or 3, get to 3?
Yeah, I really, yeah, I could possibly get 3, but the weird thing then it's, once it's open, I'm sure it's different, but it's not like we're open to the public where people can just, like, pre-COVID crisis where people can just show up at your house like, hey, we're interested, can we walk through? It's not, we still can't do that. So, I being open to getting new people, I don't know.
Well, see, yeah, if I were in your shoes, it's a very unique situation. I may be apprehensive to open just yet. You have to analyze your costs. So let's just say you took this one person in and you only had the one for a month. Is it better to wait and only have your empty building costs,
Yeah.
without the care, without the food, without,
Right.
but it's also an opportunity, he's going to go somewhere. There are assisted living facilities that are open.
Yeah.
You don't want that to happen.
I'm guessing it's my holding cost per month without everything. That's probably about 8,000, 9,000.
In labor?
No, I'm just saying, mortgage.
Oh, yeah.
Utilities.
So being vacant, it's 8. Is that what you think?
What's that?
For you right now, being vacant, your negative is 8.
Yeah, I would guess that, yeah.
And then if you put a caregiver in there 24 hours, that's going to add, that's going to put you up. Let's just say it adds $10,000, because if you have somebody there around the clock 24 hours a day, that's 3 shifts. And well, you can do the math. I think it's $250 or $300 a day, depending on what you pay. $10 an hour, 24 hours is $240 a day. That's,
yeah. I rounded up on the high side that it's $15 an hour, and then 720 hours in a month. It's $10,000, about $10,000.
so then he's paying 4, so it's adding. So really, that's what you want to do. I think 3 residents would cover that labor cost.
Okay.
So I would be on the phone today with anybody who called and was interested, and I would wheel and deal.
Yeah.
I would say, listen, I know.
What are your thoughts on taking in a new resident? Like, hey, you're staying in your room for the next 2 weeks.
Well, it depends. I mean, if that's what people are doing in Florida. They're quarantining new residents. But being that you've got like these wings, you could be like, I don't know. I guess you could figure it out.
Yeah.
That's something that I would consider. You have enough people. How many people do you think you can call that have come by or shown any interest?
I think I can possibly get 3 to be moved in.
Oh, you think you can get 3 people moved in?
I think so.
Okay. Well, then I would just come up with a plan to say, hey, we're going to try to keep you on this wing and you on this wing.
Right.
Maybe keep them in different parts of the building for 2 weeks.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. And then like maybe let them do rounds where they can come out and sit in the living room. Or, I mean, if they're 6 feet apart in your living room, somebody can sit at the dining room. You can figure something out that's safe. Your wife, being a nurse, could come up with a plan to make sure they're distanced and safe.
Right. Okay.
And then I would just, Yeah, I would be on the phone with anybody who was thinking of coming, and I would, if you feel any hesitation, so I would just say, hey, I just want to let you know we're planning to open on, you know, let's just say June 1st, right? You, she says 1 to 2 weeks. So I would call her. I would call her today and say, listen, you know, we think we can meet that time frame, but you say one is probably tight. Two, is it, just ask them if they have a hard deadline to move out of the rehab. Is that what's happening? They're running out of their Medicaid funds there or something. Yeah, before you even make any decisions, I'd call all those people and see where they are. Um, some people might say, well, we're going to wait for all this to blow over. If everybody's telling you that, I mean, I just wait to give her an answer, because you don't want to push your negative from 8 to, 12.
Right.
But I want you to open. I want you to get open, because that's when it'll start happening. That's when you just got to keep getting people coming and inquiring, and then you have a good option. Your option fits a lot of people.
Right.
So we'll talk about that, after you call back those other people. And like I said, make them a deal. If you feel any pushback, like, well, we're going to wait, say, well, we're doing a COVID move-in special, and it's discounted for the first 3 months or something like that. Something, just get them in. And what about, because if you had 3 people paying, let's say you get two other people paying $3,000 or $3,500. So $3,500, $7,000 plus that person's up to 4. That covers all your labor costs. You may as well be open.
Yeah.
Right?
Correct. I get it.
So call them and see if there's any pushback. Offer them. Do you have a move-in fee? Like
a standard, what's the standard, like $1,000?
What is the market? What do they charge in the market?
Yeah, about $1,000.
Charge $1,000, because then you could use it to pay the marketing fees.
Yeah.
Do you know if they split the payment up at all? Like, because sometimes what happens is,
the only one that split the payment up was when it was like $4,000. It was something extremely high. So.
I mean, the placement service, the one that.
The move. Wait. Oh, that's due in 30 days.
30 days after they move in. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'd be on the phone, get with your leads. But can you realistically get it? You couldn't do it in 1 week if you haven't had fire inspection yet. I mean,
no, not at all. Yeah.
Yeah. So you need to call her and talk about that. Yeah. Let me find that picture you sent. That was an awesome. Why did you post that? Why are you asking me if you should post it?
I did already.
Huh?
I did already.
You did. Okay. That's the stuff that separates you. I'm going to share it. It's on your Facebook page.
Yeah.
Oh, you posted the dog. Let me share your screen here. Hold on a second. How's the ad going? Any action with the Google?
You know what? We were getting a bunch of action, and then they suspended my account because the guy that was helping me out with it, he changed some keyword phrases around, and then it suspended the account for fraudulent activity. I had that happen before, and it was such a nightmare. I think it's because, I don't know why it happens, but I think it's because it's my wife's name on the credit card and my name's on the account. I don't know. So
what was happening? What was happening? Tell me about the results.
I could share.
No. I mean, were you getting phone calls? Like,
no phone calls from it. But the guy claimed that give it time because it'll eventually adjust itself and change around keywords to where I will start getting calls, because that's what happened to another friend of mine that's doing this in southern Indiana. He had to wait a month, let it run, and then he started getting a lot of calls.
Yeah. And what was your budget?
500. a month.
500 a month. So like $15 a day, $16 a day or something, something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, I mean, right now I would be on that and I would be bidding because if you look at the expense that you have, this $8,000,
Yes.
like,
Oh, you're right.
and I would have a double that budget in the beginning on Google because those people that are searching for that, you have to understand, like, if they're searching for NWI or whatever assisted living or LOL, you want them to know that you're there. And if it costs you $10 and you can get a client who's going to pay you $40,000, $50,000 a year, you know, I would increase the budget, especially if you're going to want to take in a few residents. It's cheaper to spend the money on marketing than it is to spend the money on a negative.
Yeah. No, you're right.
I'll set up an AdWords. I'll put it under my account
Oh, okay.
and I'll test it out and I won't charge you for it. I'll just run it on my account.
You know what I owe you.
I'll just set up a $10 a day budget, see how it goes, and then you can just PayPal me or something.
Yeah.
Money. Because we got to get you got to get an ad out there. I wonder why it got. I was running an ad for one of our facilities, and it was on Facebook though. Huh? I wonder why.
Oh, Facebook would flag me all the time because I'm pretty sure I know why with Facebook, because I would change like the demographics and it's housing.
Yeah, housing category. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's why they would always reject it, and I would always have to challenge it, and then they would eventually overturn it.
I just had an ad rejected because of that, and I'm thinking, it's not housing. Like, I'm targeting a specific demographic. Like, why would my ad be showing to an 18-year-old on Facebook?
Right, and that's what
I'm
you have to
providing a service, not housing. I'm providing a service.
Yeah, no, I get
But
it. It's a computer that flags it though, typically.
yeah, but Google should be okay. All right, I'll set up an ad if you want, and
Yeah,
like I said, I'm just gonna set it at $10 a day to see how it goes, and then at the end of the month, you can just pay me back for it.
and then set it up how with that bid.
Yeah, I'm gonna let it run. I'm gonna let it choose the keywords, and we'll get back together in a couple of days. So it'll only be $30, and we'll see the results.
Yeah,
And then if it's good, maybe we'll increase it. But I really want you to get phone calls out of it. So
yeah,
maybe we'll try it for 30 days. This is the thing. This is what I would do with this client. You really want to be in good grace with this placement service. Never butt heads with them. If they're going to be the only game in town, like, you
yeah,
just, whatever happens, whatever disagreements you have, always, just always, you never want to burn that bridge.
yeah. You're
Because
right.
they're going into those hospitals and the rehab centers and they're developing relationships, and you can get cut out.
Yeah,
So we need to develop a multi-strategy, multi-channel approach for you to get business. So you're not just reliant only on placement services, but that's why you got to be running your own Google AdWords. Just set it as part of your budget. Facebook ads, pushing out some of your content, a small budget there. The networking, your book, your resource guide is going to be amazing. That's an amazing connection you made.
yeah,
Amazing. We need to really, really develop that. So I'll help you on that. But today I'm going to set up a Google AdWords account for you, or an ad, and then we'll target that. And then you'll call those people and try to get them to commit.
right.
But so this is what I was going to say. I would really contact the city and come up with a realistic timeline when you can get a CO.
Yeah,
And if it's not realistic in 2 weeks, then just let her know and just say, I'd love to help this person. But it's our timeline really because of the slowdown. And it could give you an opportunity to push it off a little bit, but still maintain the relationship and know that there's still going to be more residents behind that.
yeah,
But it's also an opportunity. So I would check with your list. If you can get 3 people, then go forward as fast as you can. If you can't get people to commit, then I would use the excuse of the slowdown, and it just depends on where you are financially. But it's more expensive to have one than it is to have none.
right.
But she would understand that, you can't 2 weeks. If it's not 2 weeks, then, but sometimes they can find a temporary solution. Let's just say,
Have a caregiver move in or something.
yeah, they may, and the families have done that for me in the past. You know, they're like, well, don't worry, we'll just move dad home. We'll bring a caregiver, and you could even volunteer one of your caregivers to go work there. Not, you're not, um, it's not your service. You're just going to make it clear that it like, hey, before I hire this person's here, you know, you can hire them. It's a separate agreement between them.
Yeah.
You know, you're not, because you don't want to do something that you're not licensed for or not, but just say, hey, and maybe, you know, this placement service might have somebody. So they might find a temporary solution to wait if it's worthwhile for them. Like if your place might be more affordable than what they would get someplace else, or it might be a better environment. Has she seen the place yet?
Yeah, she came over a long time ago.
Good.
And now she's on my Facebook page, so she sees the updates and everything.
Good.
So.
Good. I'm going to look at this. So let me see here. You posted pictures. Countertops are nice. Man, this is a nice job.
Thank you.
And then the dog is awesome. I see you added that.
I asked for a video from the lady who's training them right now.
Oh, you've done a lot on here. Yeah, look at the parking lot. That's all good. That looks good. Yeah, I came up with a great idea. Yeah, I don't see the picture of you guys eating.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at that right now.
What?
I don't know how they didn't get posted. Hold on, I'll do it on my phone right now.
I would post it honestly, and I would boost that to the NWA. It's so cheap on a Facebook ad.
Yeah.
Just boost it out there. It's just a family, and in the post say something like, you know, our family is almost ready to take care of your family members or your loved ones. Like families taking care of families, that type of theme. And then boost it out. Spend a little time to make the text good though, because once you start it as an ad, you can't change, it's harder to change it.
Yeah, no, I know how that goes with that. Here's what my wife came up with to post. Little employee luncheon. Lots of great ideas being bounced around over here. Real productive meeting today. Smiley face.
Yeah, I would make like a caps at the top saying residential assisted living opening soon. So they see that up at the top, and then her text down below that.
I like
so
it.
You know what it is.
Yep, I'm gonna do that right now.
You just think about like what a lot of corporate places would run as an ad. They would run a picture of their building, maybe some stock photo of some seniors like playing cards or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you contrast that with like your family sitting there, like the family business all sitting there, you know, having McDonald's, like it's just real. Like where would you want to put your mom? You know, with a family like your guys there that are going to look after them and take care of them and make them feel like they're in a home or just some, you know, faceless building.
And okay, so what did you say put at the top? Residential assisted living or just
Opening soon. Okay. Something like that. Yeah. And consider, you know, your wife, I don't know if she's savvy on like make like a little boomerang, like you know what a boomerang is? It's like the GIF video that kind of like plays for like 2 seconds and then repeats and repeats.
Yeah.
Okay. So get the dog a little boomerang video and in the thing saying, here's our house pet at our residential assisted living opening soon. Post it. You have 900 followers. Anything that gains any traction that gets likes or comments, just put a little bit of money, $5, $10 behind it, and just get it out there. Just don't know where these, you know.
So then I said residential assisted living opening soon. our family is getting, should I put that, what you said, our family is getting ready to take care of yours?
Yeah, something like that. That's great. And then your wife's information is interesting underneath it.
That's a little employee luncheon, lots of great ideas being bounced around over here. Real productive meeting today.
Yep. What are you, do you have like activities like any music or anything planned? Like did you find any musicians?
Yeah, we found this stuff.
I I would consider doing like maybe a live stream video of the musician playing, not a long one, but just a little one, you know, in your facility. Hey, we're getting warmed up with our activities. Um, some just an idea down the way. Okay. So this post is going. I think you should just experiment and put $5 on it and target anybody over 35, 40 in a, you're more rural. So I wonder what a 10-mile radius would look like. Does it hit that more dense area?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it does. I go 20-mile radius.
Okay. And I would do, yeah, just set it for $5, put a $5 budget, let it run for a day. And then if it's getting a lot of traction, then just increase the timeline or the budget. I see you posted a job. That's good. Oh, and you had some comments,
Yeah.
shares.
So many people applying without resumes. It's hilarious.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Like, oh, a job. Let me. I'm a cashier. I should qualify.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Just what the ones that I always watch out for, the overqualified ones.
Yeah.
Those are the ones you're like, yeah, why are you applying for this job? You know, don't hire overqualified people, especially like caregivers and stuff. You're like, wait, you're a nurse. Why would you want a caregiver job? Or
Yeah.
they just want to come and learn the business. Or I actually had a person that I know, she hired an EMT as a caregiver. And I told her, she asked me, should I hire the EMT? I'm like, no, don't do it. And turns out he stole medication from her, like narcotics.
Oh.
First weekend, took off, never saw her, and left the residence. It was a mess. Yeah.
All right. It's up.
Cool. Let me see here. You know, it doesn't hurt, to be honest, to have you or your wife, somebody call these rehabs and nursing homes all
Yeah.
around town and just say, once you pick a date, just say, listen, tell them who you are and say, you know, do, do you expect anybody that might need assisted living? Like, we're trying to get it to the point where we have 2 to 3 residents to get off the ground. You know, we're a family business. My wife's a nurse, and just want to, you know, touch base with you and let you know we are going to have availability, and you know, we'll be flexible with terms, or I don't know, just touch base with them and see, because they might have somebody. Oh yeah, Mrs. You know, so and so, you know, she'd be moving out. I'll let the family know.
So
Or
who's the gatekeeper? Like when I call a place, the rehab facility?
social worker or discharge planner.
Okay.
And now you have a reason to call the discharge planner. Now you don't know where this person is. Did it say it in the email?
It did.
It did? Okay. So before you go around this person, I would call them and say, hey, I'm going to call and no, you don't need a reason. You're there offering a service for them that they need. These social workers, these discharge planners need you.
Yeah.
And because there is no other place offering what you offer, it's good for them to know that a second option besides a large place exists. And you could say, are you familiar with residential assisted living facilities? Like we're a home-like environment for people that aren't they will have people that aren't capable of being in larger places. Absolutely. And maybe budget wise, for whatever reason, you got to remember, like somebody in a wheelchair, some places just automatically tack on a lot of money,
Okay.
or some places don't even take people who are like that initially. So my pitch to them would be like, we're a smaller environment. We have more caregivers to the number of residents. So we can provide a higher level of care, a more intimate setting. I would just explain that to them on the phone and just say, listen, we have a date, we're opening, we're taking in our first resident, we've got our staff lined up. And I just want to let you know that we're here. If you have anybody that doesn't necessarily fit into the larger community or you think the smaller environment might be appropriate. And because there's nobody else in town, I mean, that's a really good thing for them to know, because their problem that they have is finding places for people. They're tasked with getting this person out of the rehab and getting them, emptying that bed. That's their job.
Right.
And sometimes, the more options they have, the better.
Okay.
So I'd just get on the phone tomorrow and just start calling, give them time to get into work and just say, hey, listen, once you figure out your date, a realistic date, start your launch process, start get those calls. I mean, I don't know how many nursing home rehabs you have in your vicinity. Couldn't be, 5, 10,
We have a lot.
10, 20.
I would say 10, 20.
That's perfect. So I would get on the phone and I'd be ready to send them an email. This is a good opportunity to get their email address if they give it to you. Or a way I'd say I can mail you, because normally you could come in and drop things off. Just say, I can mail you out some information if you'd like, and then you just get attention to the person's name. You could say, I can mail you out some information about our facility, or I can email you some information as well. Hopefully they give you the email.
What I find odd is that the lady that's sending me this referral, it's coming from a rehab inside of an assisted living home.
Right.
So I'm wondering, why are they not pushing him to go there? Probably because
those are the questions that you need to ask, and you need to ask her. You need to find out why. Maybe it's budget. Maybe the thing is, large places like yours as well, because they just want the easy people. I mean, most of them just they push out the hard ones because it costs them too much money for care. There's too much liability and risk because they're just too big. Yeah. So you could develop really good relationships with some of these larger places. So you do something totally different, and they're going to appreciate what you do, because the people who work in the business understand that not everybody fits, their model. Right. And they've had to kick people out to nursing homes or out of their facility because they couldn't care for them anymore. So you're going to be a vital resource to the community. And all you got to do is just start telling people, once you get your date, you got your first person lined up. If you choose to take this person, normally you'd be going into these places, handing a brochure. Like even the large communities, you could go in and explain, like I just said, like, hey, this is the way I would pitch the large community. I would say, listen, we're a new residential assisted living. This is what we do. Our price point might be a little lower for people that, I don't know what your price point is compared to their price point, but a lot of times if they are higher priced, they turn away people because they can't afford their place. So even if your price isn't cheaper, you could still tell them that you have a lower starting price, and you could designate a couple of rooms that are lower so that you could tell people that you have a starting price at this, and it's a couple of rooms that you designate. I know one of my friends, our consultant friends, she reserves, yeah, she had an adult daycare and an assisted living. She reserved 2 of her rooms for low income people. And she did it out of the goodness of her heart, like really the goodness of her heart, because she cared. But it's a great thing to be able to tell people like that you reserve 2 rooms for low income people who can't afford it. So going into, if that's your pitch, um, that's a good pitch. And large communities, you could say there are times when people can't afford your assisted living, or they need to be in a smaller environment. So I would introduce yourself, be friendly with everybody.
Yeah, makes sense.
And the what you would say to them, you can start it out this way. I wouldn't start it out with how they can help you. I would start it out with how you can help them. So the nursing homes are a different thing, but the large communities, you could say, listen, we're new, we're open. There's going to be times when people don't, when we're full because we only have 16 beds, or or somebody belongs or needs a larger environment. They just need it. There's going to be different people. They're going to come into your door and you're going to know this right away. They just want that larger community experience. And say we do a lot of marketing, and I just want to be able to refer people to places. Can you tell me about your facility, your community? And and then at the end just say, and just so you know, if somebody can't, it doesn't belong in your environment, we vice versa, we have this home-like environment. So if you make a verbal commitment to this person, let's say in 2 or 3 weeks, say June 1st, if they can wait to June 1st, then just spend the next 3 weeks making connections with everybody, and you have a very good personality, and your wife, and I think you guys are going to you're going to fit well in the community. You guys are doing this, you're going to do a good job. So I think that you're going to get referrals and you're going to get business. So you just got to get out there and start spreading the word.
Yeah.
Maybe you know what would be cool? Are there any networking meetings?
There is, yeah. There's a local home health care, assisted living. Yeah, there is. We belong to that, but all the meetings have been virtual the past couple weeks or months.
Have you been on those?
I haven't been on them. No.
Okay.
I haven't. Yeah, I should. I belong to the association. My wife was going to the meetups pre-COVID.
Okay.
Babysitter and everything, where she can get out and do whatever. So.
Okay. Sounds good. Are there any? Do you know if there's a local Facebook group for these type of people?
The home doctor that we teamed up with that's writing our first article for us in our newsletter, they just started one.
What is it called? Like for senior services?
Northwest NW Indiana Seniors.
So it's but who is it for?
Seniors.
No. The group that you need to start, or we're just brainstorming here, would be for senior care, like operators. Does the association have a private group that
people from the operators from these assisted livings go to this meetup that I was telling you about?
Yeah, but so it's like a nonprofit association, or what is it that?
Yeah.
They don't have a Facebook group?
They do.
They do have a private Facebook group?
Yeah.
Are you in it?
Yeah.
Okay. How many members do they have?
I don't know.
And you can post in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to post in there something thoughtful. Your place looks great. It really does. I mean, you're going to do well. I know it. You just got to keep getting the word out there.
Yeah, there's 300 people in this Facebook group.
What's the name of the group?
Look up, and I searched NWI COCA, COCA. Yep.
Okay, I see the page. Oh, that's the page. That's not a private group, though.
Oh,
Oh, we are a membership group of individuals. Yeah, that's not a private group. Oh. 300 individuals. My wife and kid just got home. They're going to come in the garage here. Now, our quarantine here in Florida is slowly being lifted. It's do they have a Facebook group? Because you can become a valuable resource to this community if you build a Facebook group. I'm trying to think though, do we want it local? Like for our assisted living in Florida, we have a Facebook group for administrators, people who run assisted living facilities. You can come in, it's okay. But that our group is made up exclusively of, that's okay. I'm recording it. Our group is exclusively assisted living administrators, but I think that if you could make a Facebook group, a private group for the long-term care industry in your region, the NWI. That'll be for another day. But you can post on this page, huh?
yeah.
Do anybody else post things like, yes. Oh, they don't have let's see here. Yeah, see like here, this facility.
That's the one right by me.
What's that?
That's the one right by me.
That's behind you?
That's the closest facility to me.
Ah,
It's
see,
like
they posted in there.
away.
Yeah, but look at how few infrequent they post in here. They just are not active on social media. See, this is going to be a strategy we need to think about, is that you could create a resource page. See, the thing is public's not really interested in this. I don't think they'll follow this stuff. But I was just thinking of other ways that you can get your word out to the industry and let them know that you're here and what you do. Those meetings were good. Hopefully they start back up again. But in the meantime, I'd get on the phone and I'd call as many people, like a large community. So have you met anybody from Cedar Creek?
Yeah, I know the guy who takes the admissions guy. So I'm going to invite him over.
Are they friendly?
Yeah. I had to donate blood to hang out with them. It was my excuse to hang out with them. Donating blood. They're having like a blood drive. I'm like, hey man, I signed up for the blood drive. I'm coming in. I'm like, can you hang out with me for a little bit?
Uh-huh.
So we hung out and everything. So yeah, they're full too. So they're really,
And how many beds are they?
20. It's a 100-bed facility. 20 beds are assisted.
Oh, that's not really a big focus of theirs. See, the thing is, Eddie, that's a good opportunity because they can't service all their clients.
Yeah, I'm gonna send them a text next day or two.
You need to, because 100 beds. They have people that need assisted living all the time. Only 20 beds to service a 100-bed independent living is not enough. So
it's not independent. 10 beds are memory care, and then the rest is like skilled care, I believe.
Oh, okay, I see. It's not independent with assisted living of only 20.
There's no independent living there at all.
Okay.
And it's such a small town. That's what's unique about this. And they're pretty much full everywhere.
They're full. So I would, yeah, I would definitely call them. Just like I told you, since you know the guy and you got his number, just say, hey, we're opening and, yep, start reaching out to those people because they're getting calls every single day. You can piggyback off all their marketing efforts,
Right.
And,
Did I sent my brochure to somebody on Fiverr to clean up a little bit.
yeah.
And
You want to share? Well, I want to look at your resource guide before we go into that.
yeah.
You gotta develop.
That's what I was bringing up. Okay, so another thing, if you click on my resources, this is what I did. If you click on my resources, then resource guide, or senior resource.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start posting this link on there on my Facebook page and other Facebook sites. When people sign up for that, they'll get an email to them right away.
Yeah.
And then I'll have their email address too. So.
Yep. What I was going to tell you is, I think you should build your resource guide right into this website as well.
Well, it's kind of the same thing. If they put their email address in there, they're going to get an email to them right away.
Yeah, but true. Same thing. Yep.
But that way I got their email address, but you think I should just have it out in the open?
Well, yeah, let me show you. So we're going to be building websites, and one of the things we're going to do is we're going to build a resource section that'll look like. See, then you have a reason to contact these people, and or even consider making a local directory, a resource directory as well. Yeah. My 24 care. So the listings could look like this on the back end. Could be like doctor's offices, home health services, hospice providers.
Wow.
Yeah, we could build this into your website. But we'll talk about that another time. We'll work on a larger, bigger picture project.
Yeah.
But I think the way that the path forward is to start building these relationships with those people, like that guy. And he was friendly. The one who ran, he didn't. Yeah.
So
was he interested in what you were doing? And did he ask you questions?
Yeah. Yeah. He said he'd like to come by, and this was a couple months ago. So,
perfect. I would be on the phone with him tomorrow and give him an update. See how they're doing. See if there's any way that you can help them. If they need any supplies or if they need anything, you're here to help. I would check on them.
Do I offer him a spot on my senior resource guide?
Sure. I mean, to be honest,
it's not really competition.
What's that?
It's not. We're not really in competition with one another.
You're not, and I think that you offer something that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So people that are going to choose your place are not. They're not. It's not like they're not going to know about that place, right?
Right.
I mean, they're going to know about that place before they know about your place. So the idea is, what do they say? You wouldn't be telling something they don't already know. Like if you give this resource guide to somebody, you wouldn't be telling them. The new thing that they don't know is about your place in the small environment.
Yeah.
But you come across as really grand, and your intentions are pure to build a really good resource for the community. So
if we switch over to my screen, I got my resource guide pulled up.
Go ahead.
Host disabled participant.
Oh, I did? Oh, there you go. That looks great.
Oh wait,
Is that what you had people
you see it right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's showing my camera shot right now.
I see it. It on the right corner of your screen, there's like a little button to switch your view. I see the resource guide.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all that matters then.
That
So
looks really good. Yep.
I'm gonna have to change that picture. We got to clean some of this up over here. That's on an angle. And the article that doctor wrote was COVID. It was his wife. His wife's a medical researcher. She kind of runs the company, I think. I'm not sure, but she came up with an article on COVID scams on seniors. Just standard senior scam stuff.
It's great. Does he have a picture?
No.
Yeah,
And then this is from yours. I kept that in there.
Yeah, you know what? I think up at the top where it says benefits of assisted living. What did it say? The top?
Right there.
Yeah, yeah. Yep. And what is above that is your story, right? Go above.
No, article that the doctor wrote.
And then above that.
Our story.
Okay. A little bit further up, what is the first page? What is residential assisted living? Yeah. Quarterly spotlight voice cams, also featuring a new niche in senior care resident. Wow, that's good, man. I just give you the idea and you make it better.
Yeah, my wife comes up with the fancy words.
So. No. I mean, I really like the angle where you're actually the featured story in like a newsletter. See, one of my ideas instead of this resource guide that I want to work on is a newsletter. And the newsletter could go out on a quarterly basis or something like that. And it has updated articles and it could get distributed everywhere. And a newsletter also could, so we have something that we're working on called Senior Health and Wellness. And it could still have articles about your place, like, so this is kind of along those lines. Like it's like a news magazine, and it's highlighting a new type of service that's being introduced in Lowell. It's great, really good. Yep, it's perfect. Yep.
Yeah, and then that was and then my senior. I got to fill this in a little bit more, get some other people.
Yeah, I would definitely, when you call, this is what I would do. When you call these places, all of them, the nursing homes, all of them, part of your pitch is that you're making a resource guide and you wanted to include them in it. And it's being distributed all around town or something like that.
Yeah. I told you I called the Meals on Wheels people.
Yeah.
The owner, it's privately owned, which I found was weird, but that's fine. It's privately owned. The owner loved the idea. And then I talked to the marketing specialist. And then she's like, yeah, it can't all be about you, though, because then it's kind of advertisement for you.
Right.
So
that's why I think if you're a true resource guide, you would have every facility, every resource.
Yeah.
If you're more like a newsletter, then it's more like news and information, what's going on in town. And oh, by the way, here's a little puff piece on this facility here. Does that make sense? It's like, yeah.
So then that's just, I'm going to turn this into a checklist, though. I'm going to move this over. When you ask somebody on Fiverr to make 15 corrections, they make about 9. but they didn't make all the corrections over here. This should have been like residential assisted living.
How much did you pay for all this?
The fiver one was, it's funny how that works. It's a crapshoot, but I got quoted anywhere from $50 to $150 for 8 pages.
Yeah.
And all I did was I sent them my old one. I'm like, I don't like the way this looks. Make it look pretty. So, and then they do it in Photoshop and everything, and do it the right way, where they have all the right files.
Did you get a template? Did you get the template file from?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You always have to ask for the source file because
no. GotPrint or wherever you're going to get it printed has a template as well.
Yeah, that's what I sent them.
You sent them, okay.
Yeah.
And then you can go to 12. You saw on GotPrint, you scale it up to 12, didn't increase the price much. So don't, if you want to go bigger, if you feel like you need the space. But part of the problem is you probably only need 9, and then you add these extra pages, you have to fill it with stuff. But it's an opportunity for you to call like hospice providers and ask them if they want to put an article or information. So it gives you an opportunity to build bridges as well.
You know, it was funny when I talked to a couple people on it, and they're like, all right, well, how much does it cost? I'm like, well, this one's free.
Yeah, exactly. And it's going to, I mean, you're going to be the talk of town doing this kind of thing for people.
Yeah.
And then what you could do next time is you could take these people who are, you're giving them a little taste of it, right? Like, let's say the hospice. What's the biggest hospice in town?
I don't know. There's a couple of different companies.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you do is you could go bigger. So you could say, hey, you know what? The next time I go to print, I'd like to print 10,000 of them. So maybe we can all distribute the cost of it, and I'll put it together, and we all work on getting it distributed. So there's ways you can get it, scale it up. So, and at the same time, you're building relationships with. That's really good. So thinking about moving to assisted living.
Yeah, I want to do this. Yeah, I told them to make another column over here that's blank. So it's more of a checklist and not promoting us.
Yeah. Yeah, so you'll take out the others and everything. That's what I was thinking. If you want it to be a true resource guide, then I'd find common questions, throw in some that also, that's good. That's good. But your primary focus, because this, by the time you even get this to print and get it out, like your primary focus the next 2 weeks is making phone contact with these people and figuring out your move-in date.
Right.
Because this right here will just, you're better off putting this to the side.
Yeah, no, it's a good point.
Because it's busy work. This is not as important, as urgent as like picking a date. But I really like what you've done here. And because you built the relationship with the Meals on Wheels, you want to follow through with this. But I don't know if it's going to give you the immediate results that you need.
Yeah.
That's more of like, oh, they're delivering meals to people that are at home. Like that might take a while. And you can get an ad or a Google ad out there right away.
Right.
But I would finish with the person that you're making the few changes, put it back on their plate, make the few changes so it's further along. You can close out that job on Fiverr.
Okay. Question for you. You mentioned something about if you were me, you would only finish like one or two rooms. You said
finish one or two
in my house. Like stage only one room or two rooms.
Oh, right.
What would you
do? I think you just stage one is fine.
Stage one. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to pull up my website real quick. for my double occupancy room, if they want it to be, it's like a 15 by 20 room. It's really large. We're calling it a couple suite, and it can either be single occupancy or double occupancy. And I see sometimes, like, somebody would say, if me and my husband or wife moved in there, what would the rate be? Will we get a discount? Well, it's like, well, you still need the care and everything, so not a huge discount. But if your base rate was $4,300 a month, what would you drop that down to for two people getting that room?
Couples are always hard because it is a big chunk for two of them. If you think it'd be at 4,300, would be, but really you would come up with some sort of shared room rate. But is your capacity maxed out? You see, it's not like Florida. Like Florida, you have a licensed capacity, right? I mean, do you have a licensed capacity, or is it based on your building code?
Building code.
Yeah, so you could technically have two people in each room and have 32 residents, right?
Right.
Right. So it doesn't really, you don't have a like a ceiling. So technically you could go to 17. Like I used to tell people, well, like we were 8 to our building, that even though you're sharing a room, I had 8 rooms. Even though you're sharing a room, I can still only put 8 people. So it's still costing me, because I could have taken in that extra resident. But in theory you could, but couples are always tricky like that. Because if it doesn't restrict your capacity, then I would be willing to give a shared room rate. I would just come up with a shared room rate because it allows you to rent out the other room. It's just gravy. I would make a deal for a couple, especially if they're easier. Because
So
what difference does it make? It takes up one room to you.
maybe 3,500 a piece from the 4,300.
Yeah, you could say something like that, like our shared room rate is $3,500. I'd just come up with a shared room rate.
Okay.
Because you may have people that's all they can afford anyway, and then you'll just be like, well, our normal rate is this price, but for that price we can do a shared room. It doesn't mean that you have somebody in there as shared, but if you ever want to or ever need to, because you could find another person that's 35 or 3,000 or 28 or whatever it is, but then now you have a place to put them.
Right.
Right. So you just tell them for now you're going to get a private room, but at some point I may, but I would be selective of who I put in there. If it's a woman, I'd only do another woman,
Right.
those type of things. And if you have a problem, maybe we'll move you to a different room. So people would rather do a shared room if it keeps them on budget. Because if your mom only had $3,500, but the only other option in town is $4,500, what would you do? Would you put her in a shared room at $3,500? The family can't come up with $1,000 a month to cover it, or maybe she has some savings, but she's going to blow through it quickly. Maybe she only has $2,500 in income, and to get to $3,500, she's already using $1,000 a month.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, other people out there are. I think I personally, that's the way you could say that your rates start at this price, because you have a shared room option. Do other facilities have shared rooms in town?
Oh, yeah, I just much single occupancy. Now
Yeah, but it might be.
They do offer like additional person $500 a month or $1,000 a month, and like the large 1 bedroom.
Those are more independent though. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's independent pricing. Because that they do the room. Independent means like we don't provide any care, and the additional person just costs us a little food. You're already taking up this 1-bedroom apartment, so we're just charging like food charges and transportation charges, but not actual care.
Yeah. So it's pretty much all single occupancy out here.
You'll read people and you'll know what they can afford. So when they come, you're going to say, these are our room rates, our private rooms start at this price. And then they're going to cringe, or they're going to be like, oh, mom just can't afford that, you know, or whatever. And just say, well, what is your budget? And, you know, they'll say, well, mom only gets this much from here and this much from there. And they get the veterans benefit and they get these things. Say, well, we do offer a shared room rate. And you could say the shared, like, let's say they say their normal price is three, that's what they can afford, $3,000. And you could say, it depends where you are. If you need to fill a bunch of rooms, right? If you really like the family, if you really like them, if they're only taking half the room and you're getting $3,000 and you can put another person in there at $3,000, like, that's good, right? Okay. So just say, well, our normal shared room rate is $3,500, but I mean, if maybe show documentation, let me see proof, you know, so they don't just lie. But that's your choice. I'm just saying, maintaining flexibility, understanding what your potential shared room rate would be a good idea. Have you had a couple come to you and ask for a?
Yeah, a couple people actually asked for it in the beginning, but not lately.
Do you still have their numbers?
I have everybody's numbers.
Okay. I'd call everybody and say, you know what, we decided to add a shared room rate for couples.
Okay.
Because if you get a couple, both give you, that's $7,000. Then you only need the guy and the couple, and you're done to start. Wheel and deal in the beginning, man. You can always inch your prices up later on. I would have there's a lot of people, you could target veterans as well.
Yeah.
People who do well with that. So maybe the shared room rate would be for veterans. Maybe you could say, maybe your special price could be for veterans.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, say, well, if somebody asks if you had a lower rate or a shared room, well, normally, and then when you call people, you can say, we have a veterans rate of this price, you know, $3,000 for shared room. So that's good. Well, get on no more time with me. You got to get on the phone.
Yeah, I'll start calling right now, actually. So.
Are you an hour behind? Are you?
I'm Central Time.
So it's only 2:40. Yeah, call back. I think you made the post on Facebook. I'm going to set up your Google ad. I'm going to just run $10 a day for a few days. We'll get back together in a few days and see if it's yielded you any phone calls or where the clicks are, if you're getting clicks to the website. But I really want you to get phone calls.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Yeah. There's also an ad that you can run on Facebook for phone calls or messaging, messaging.
Yeah, to me that's weird because it's like they promote them to call you. I don't see it. If somebody wants to call you, they're going to call you.
Oh, it's really easy though because it's just a button.
Right.
But they have one that's a messenger. So
where the messenger pops up by itself automatically?
On the ad, it's like message, and they can, like, on the ad. So like on the post that when you boost it, see if you can make it put a button, a message us button. And then underneath it, you can put like, do you have any questions about assisted living? And then, contact us. And then they click on it, and you can put preset questions that they can ask, like, what are your rates? Do you have any availability? You don't have contract. Like, what do you have, a 30-day contract or something? Or
that's what I'm telling people. 30-day. I'm like, I don't want to force anybody to stay here. If you don't like it, then
you don't want that anyway. You want to be able to get rid of them. You want them to be, and you might not be able to take care of them anyway. So,
right.
People won't want to move if they like it. And if you lock them in that they could leave a bad review, that's bad. So I would just say, just play around when you're building it. You're going to boost it for $5, the post you made. See if you can put a button, and then it could let you put some preset questions. So do you have when do you open? Do you have any availability? What are your rates? How long are your contracts? And then you can have automatic responses that answer those questions as well. So we'll touch base at the end of the week.
All right, great.
And first call you make is call this placement service and tell her how much you appreciate it. And you're going to try your best to get open, but I'd also, maybe the second call you make. Maybe the first call you make is to her, second call you make is to the city. Find out what they think is a realistic time frame. Tell her that you put a call into the city to see when you can get your inspections done.
Okay.
And then call your Cedar Creek contact.
My buddy, yeah.
Yeah. Good work, man. I love that resource guide, man. You're really gonna do good. You keep going with that longer term project. It's amazing.
Okay. Great. Thanks for the info. I appreciate it.
Yep. Email me. I'll email you some things when I get the ad going.
Yeah, great.
All right. And then we got to schedule a video with you and your wife or whoever else you want. And we talk about what is a residential assisted living facility.
Yeah, we gotta do that. Yeah, we can do that now because now we're seeing her parents now, so they can watch all of our kids while we're on the.
Okay, but it could just be me and you as well. I just think it's valuable to have a nurse.
Oh, we got to get her in here.
There's a nurse.
Yeah.
I mean, I trust her more than, I mean, just the way it works. Nurses have an advantage. I mean, a built-in advantage. And even more than like all these other assisted living facilities out there, like the nurse runs it. She owns it. She's here, you know? So it's a huge advantage. And then that's one that you post, even if it's not our interview, maybe you can recreate it. Like, let me show you here. Cheryl hates this video I did. Hold on, let me share the screen because this is what we did for one of our intro videos. Let's see, my 24 care.
Oh, I was on your website yet last night, and I liked that success checklist you posted.
Oh yeah, it keeps you on track. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here, training. So we just did this video like it's loading. So you could do something like this, just set the camera up somewhere, just like this. You see it?
Yeah.
And it could just be you and her explaining to people like who you are and why you got into it, like, and what you're all about.
Yeah.
Everything that you post in your brochure, explaining to people why they should at least come by and see what you offer, and you know, put it out there on Facebook, and then it's an introduction to everybody who you are. I would get this done. I'd put it on Facebook. It'll get a lot of views.
Okay.
But if you want, we can do an interview like this, a Zoom meeting, and then you can use that as well, like an interview format. I can interject and explain to people about it as well. I don't care what we do. You tell me what you guys want.
Yeah, no, I would like you to interview us too, so that would just probably sound a little bit better, I think.
Okay. At some point, you guys should do this though.
Yeah.
So, all right, man. That's it. Any other, I'm going to stop the video here.